Well, hey everybody, welcome to the video, and today I thought we would have a little bit of fun. As you can see here, we're gonna start a new world here. We're not doing any changes other than we're just making it a hard world. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just create a random world, and I thought, you know, it's kind of fun to think about strategies for first day, and depending on what situation you find yourself in, there's you know, several different strategies that could be kind of fun to consider when you're trying to figure out how to have a great start. All right, so here we're about to pop in. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we're in a spruce forest here. Might as well go ahead. We're at the top of a tree. Might as well go ahead and get some wood and pillar our way down while gathering some wood here, because no matter what, that's usually a pretty good way to start. Sounds like there's some sheep by, so this start is a pretty good candidate for what I refer to as your traditional start, where we get some wood, we you know, we make some starter tools, get some stone tools. If there's sheep nearby, which there is, then we can go ahead and get a bed right away. Once you've gotten a bed, for the purposes of this video, you know, you've kind of made it through your first day. I mean, you know, you've accomplished the hard part, and so really it's kind of a win for the start of that series, because a bed is so key. You know what, let's go ahead, since we have sheep right here, let's go ahead and make an axe as well. And look at that. So here we have some good starter food as well. This is a really, I'm going to try to go if there's enough white sheep so we can easily make them. It's hard to jump when you're under a tree. All right, so we got one wool. We got some food started here. Well, we're going to go ahead and clear out what we can here. So the only unlucky thing about this start is those sheep were all three different colors. So let's go ahead and let's grab us some food, and hopefully we can find some more sheep nearby. Now these berries, although they can be a little hazard to collect initially, are great early game food. Now, they don't give you a lot of saturation or anything. I'm just going to break some of these to make some room. They don't give you a lot of saturation, but here we got 28 of them really quick, so we're pretty set. So now, I think another good thing to consider is to go ahead and dig down and get your stone right near where you spawn in, because if you're in a hardcore world, this doesn't matter, because you don't have to stick around. You could come back to spawn so that you can build some farms or something, and that way they'll continue to run. But at this point, since we don't really know if we're going to find a third sheep or not before nighttime, we're going to go ahead and collect up some stone so that we can get some get into the Stone Age here and elevate our level of tools. Alright, so we got a little bit of cobble here. I tell you what, we're just going to go ahead and plop this thing down here for the moment, because if it turns out that let's see, we need some sticks first, I guess. So if it turns out that we are unable to get a bed and all that, and we have to go to a different strategy here, then this is a good place to start. And because we've already started to dig a hole here, so if we take a peek at our coordinates, I think I just heard a sheep, so we're like 60 and minus 100. I think the main reason why you wouldn't spawn right around 00 is if 00 happens to be in an unspawnable place, then I think you spawn somewhere nearby. There's some more sheep over here, which is great news. All right, so we need one more white piece of white wool, and we can make a bed, and that would be great for this start. So we'll go ahead and maybe start collecting up some leather would be great as well. All right, I've been running around just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and put a couple blocks there just to signify, so it's a little easier to see when I'm traveling around. We still got some daylight left, so I'm still you know, hopeful that we're going to be able to find a sheep here before it gets dark, and this will be a good traditional start. Aha, I think I spotted one. There we go. Alright, so there's the magical 3 pieces of wool. Let's make ourselves another crafting table and plop that puppy down. And we even got a bed that's not white. No, we don't, because we only have one white wool, or one gray wool. Okay, there you go. So we've got a bed. So really now, pretty much, I'm pretty unstoppable for a start. As soon as it starts to get, all I have to do is be careful not to get killed by anything, but unless I go into a cave or someplace where it's been complete zero light level, which is pretty much nowhere above ground that I can think of anyway, we're golden. So that's a successful start. So that's your traditional start. You know, you get some tools, you find some sheep, and then once you make a bed, then pretty much you can just carry that bed with you. You know, you can go travel wherever you want. So let's go ahead and hop out of this. All right, here we are. We're going to create another new world, put it in hard mode, and create new world. All right, so this time we're finding ourselves in a jungle here. Some nice easy wood to start with. So let's collect ourselves up some wood and get started. All right, we got to take the whole tree down. We don't want to leave any floating trees around. That's just rude. And hopefully we don't have to pillar up. Okay, good. We were just able to reach that. All right, so here we go. Now, of course, when I start in a jungle, no matter what, I want to make sure that I grab some bamboo, because that's just so useful. And if I end up not hanging around in the jungle, well, then, you know, it's nice to have that bamboo with you. Okay, so same thing here. We're always gonna start with tools and get started. And like I said, if you're a hardcore player, you don't really care about spawn unless you want to come back here. So always make a note of spawn. So here, this is pretty close to 0-0. But if you're going to play in a survival world, it's a good idea. I like to just go ahead and dig down to some stone wherever I spawn, because, you know, if you're in survival and you die, you're going to respawn here. And if you die at night, it's kind of, you know, you're going to be here with nothing. So it's nice to have a little hidey hole already pre-made for you right here at spawn. Now this one, we're digging into a hill, so it took us a little bit longer to get down to stone. That's all right. Now, if I knew that I was going to hang out here, I would probably, you know, cook some logs and get some coal going so I could light this thing up. And as a matter of fact, if you thought you were going to use this for such a thing in case you died and respawned here, you might want to do just that. Take the time to go ahead and, you know, make a furnace and get some logs and make some charcoal so you can get some early torches, and then have this place lit up and slap a little door on it so it's a nice safe place for you should you die somewhere and you have to respawn here. Okay, so now we can go right to stone tools. I always like to go with a pickaxe and an axe. We're going to go ahead and collect this up in case we need it. All right, let's go see. Now, there are sheep that can spawn around here, but sometimes it's a little tougher in a jungle. You just know what you're going to find. So we're going to be prepared if we needed to with one of the other methods. And so if you don't find a bed right away, there's a couple different things you can do to have a successful first night. First thing you want to do is just kind of look for some resources. Well, look at that. So we got some sheep. And we're getting some wool here, and we're also getting some food. It'll be much better if we cook it up. All right, so we got our 3 wool, so we could make our bed right now and call this a day. But, you know, look at this. So we got a shipwreck right off of shore. So clearly, it would be a good idea to go explore that. So I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do. Oh, and look at that. So we've got this. This here signifies that there's going to be a lush biome underneath. So you've got 2 good options on what you could do from here. One is what I call the Hidey Hole, which is kind of like just another starter hole. Let's say I hadn't found any wool and it's getting close to dark and we're a little bit worried about it. So we just start digging down. And when you're underground, and then as soon as you got underground a little bit, you know, take some of your logs and turn them into charcoal so you can make some torches. And at that point, then you can go ahead and just, you know, cave overnight and then peek up. And when it finds, you know, when it's daytime, you come on back up and continue your search for your sheep so you can get beds. But, you know, typically, you know, we're going to go ahead and do one of the other ones, which is boating along the shore. This is a fun method to use because you're relatively safe out when you're in your boat. I mean, you could be attacked. Let's see. You could be attacked by some drowns, and they can break a boat if you hang around too long. Alright, so we're standing in a doorway, so we got a treasure map here. And we got some stuff. This would be all good stuff. Maybe you don't need the feathers, but this would be all good stuff to take. Somewhere else in here. There we go. Just gotta make sure not to drown. Some, all this is good stuff here. I think I'm running out of time, though. Okay, back in the boat. All right, so yeah. So we were able to get a mossy block, which is great early game because there's so much you can do once you get some bone meal for a mossy block. All right, so on this method, since there was a boat out here that kind of enticed us out here, so let's say we didn't find any sheep and it's starting to get dark. It's not quite starting to get dark yet, although I think that sun is in the... I can't tell if it's still rising or if it's setting. But you pick a direction, and you just go up the coast. The good thing about this is, now we do have some food. We haven't cooked it yet, so it won't give us a whole bunch. But when you're boating, you don't really need it so much. You can boat for a long, long time and not use... as a matter of fact, I'm not sure if you use any, if you lose any hunger while you're boating. So on this strategy, what I would do is I would just boat up the shore, and I'd be looking for a village. Because once you find a village, that's another way just to be golden. Because obviously there's beds, but there's also shelter. There's resources. You can start, you can trade with the villagers there and get some emeralds and start trading. But you can really, it's really easy. If you find a village, even if you didn't get a bed yet, doesn't matter. You're golden. So I'm just going to go ahead and sail up the shore here and until we find a village. Now, the good thing is, if it takes a while and it turns dark while I'm in the boat, as long as I keep moving, I'm going to be in good shape. Now, there's a bunch of sheep there, so that's another way you can find some sheep in case we hadn't found any yet. Now, occasionally, this doesn't happen very often, but if a drown happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, I suppose if you get too close to him, it's possible he can pop into your boat, and then you'd have to, take care of him. But that's why I've got this axe right here. But that's very, very, very unlikely to happen. So we're just going to go ahead and cruise up the coast. Now, like I said, if it turns dark while I'm in the boat, it doesn't matter. I just keep on boating. As a matter of fact, once it turns nighttime, sometimes that makes it easier to find a coastal village because you can, you can see it because there'll be some torches in that village and you'll be able to see it. You also, one of the other cool things about this is you find all kind of neat biomes. This is some really nice looking terrain around here. If I was looking for a place to hop out and get started. Yeah, and then there's some easy coastal coal that would be really easy to pop out. That way you'd have some coal to make some torches right away as well, in case you decided to switch gears. So that's one of the other things, you may have decided that's if you couldn't find any sheep and you were just going to boat up the coast looking for a village or something like that. Well, along your trip, a lot of times you'll find things like easy coal. And then if you find a neat place like some of that back there was some really cool terrain, you could simply just hop out and resume your search for sheep. And if it turns night on you, then you can do one of the hybrid starts where you go ahead and find a cave or dig a little hidey hole and start digging down while it's nighttime. So in this case, the sun is definitely starting to set, and we're still just cruising along the coast here. And once it gets close to night, you probably want to stay cruising in your boat. You're committed to this strategy. But in the morning, if I still haven't found a village yet, but you find a place like that where it's a possibility that there's a village right over that hill, when you got lots of daytime left, you can hop out of your boat and take a run up over the hill and see what you can see. Because sometimes you go up to a place like that, nice and high, and you'll see a couple of villages. Beautiful sunset and moonrise. Very nice. Now, if you do this method and it turns night on you, you're going to want to stay a little bit away from the coast because you don't want the skeletons to be able to shoot at you. Alright, so I'm sailing along here. It's still night, and I see what looks like a savannah village over here. So, in order for success, we just need to hop over to the shore. I'm going to leave the boat here just to increase my chances of outrunning the mobs, because I see there's some spiders and some creepers that were over to my right. Now, you might have a hard time getting to sleep depending on how close the mobs are. Yeah, there's a whole bunch right there. But if we run away from them and create some distance, well, you got to find a house with a bed. Okay, so maybe we cook up some food here. So what I would do in this situation, I can either wait it out here, it's going to be daytime soon, or I could cook up some food, top off my health, and run on over and try to find another house. So just in the interest of not taking a cop-out here, I think we're going to do that. We're going to try to either get to daytime here for you, or if I can find a house with a bed that I can safely get into without getting killed, we'll do that. So luckily, in some ways luckily, it's a skeleton out there and not a zombie. A zombie would be trying to break down the door, but I think I might hear one now. Okay. So we can just bail. Yeah, and with no armor on, those skeleton arrows do some damage. There you go. Okay, sweet dreams. Now the advantage is ours, because everybody but the creepers is going to start to burn. Oh, look at that, a saddle. Nice find. Okay, so I would consider this a successful start of the... So first we did traditional, and then this one was kind of like the boat up the coast. So we're going to go ahead and hop out of this one. All right, create new world, hard mode. We have not designated a seed, and we're just going to go ahead and create that and hop in. So there's the methods I'd like to show you next are the caving method, or just another one that's kind of fun is if it doesn't look like conditions are great where you spawn, I call it the Gonzo method. Well, here you go, perfect example. This does not look very hospitable, and so what I would probably do in this situation is get some wood, make some basic tools, and I would probably also make a boat in this situation as well, just in case. But in this case, in this case, you're going to want to get some food though as well. So you're going to probably good idea to get some stone and make a furnace before you take off running, because if you're running, you're going to burn through. You're going to burn through some stuff. So some hunger of your hunger bar. All right, so we got ourselves some sticks. Let's get a pickaxe and let's get some stone. So we're just going to go ahead and start digging down right here. Okay, so this is unfortunate. We're hitting andesite, so we're going to have to, I don't know how much andesite. Andesite, I love it as a building block, but it's not going to be good for some of the other stuff. So hopefully it's not a huge andesite pocket. Normally I'd be really excited about finding a big andesite pocket, but this is not one of those times. There we go, there's some cobble. All right, so I would say you need about 20 cobble. That's a good measure. It gives you enough to make a set of tools and also to make a furnace. And then in this case, if you're going to be taking off, you might want to grab a couple extra logs that you do not convert into planks right away, because then if you needed to, you can make some torches by getting some coal. Or I'm sorry, by converting some of the logs into charcoal. Okay, so we got just over 20 cobble. All right, so we'll get ourselves a furnace, and we will also get ourselves some stone tools. That's what I like to start with. I don't usually mess with a sword until I get to iron, because most of the time you're dealing with mobs, not large groups of mobs. So an axe actually, in that case, works very well. Okay, so here's a lucky break. So we've got we might find some good stuff here in this abandoned portal. Since there's one close by, you might as well have a look at it. You never know what you're going to find. You might find some golden carrots. That could come in handy. Some gold tools, well, I would just probably take those because those could be handy. Might as well take the iron. Don't really need the other stuff for now. Normally I would just make a note of this coordinates in case I ever wanted to come back here and have a look at it. Otherwise, this is spawn, of course. So this is where we spawned. And yeah, it's not too far from 0-0, so spawn must actually be out there on the water somewhere. All right, so now the trick is we just got to find out which direction we want to run. That looks like a lot of frozen stuff over there, so I'm going to go ahead and go this way. Now along the way, we may find our... this becomes a method of what do you find first? Maybe you find your 3 sheep and you're able to make the bed and then you can sleep and then it's just like your traditional start. But at some point here, we are, unlike other times, I am going to take any food I can find, right? So if I find chickens or, if push comes to shove, I can jump in the water and get some fish. Oh, here's some sheep right here. Well, look at that. So we just stumbled across 3 sheep. So we've got our sheep here, so let's go ahead and make our bed, but in the interest of demonstrating this particular strategy, I'm going to act as if I didn't. So at this point, what I would do is because I'm going to be traveling here, I would place down my oven and I'm going to cook up this food here. In the meantime, if there's any other animals nearby, I'm going to go ahead and collect that food as well. But the idea here is if I'm going to be running, I'm going to be burning energy. So I'm going to want to have some food to keep my energy up. So I don't see any nearby. I would probably grab that sugar cane as well. Is there any fish down here? There you go. Now hopefully you don't get too distracted here. Let's get some breath and lose track of where your oven is. Now I will say that these fish are easier to hit with a sword than the axe. Okay, so let's go collect up what we got here. Alright, now in the interest of not losing our furnace and all that, let's go ahead and get back to it. Alright, there it is. I also see another sheep, so we'll go ahead and get that because that's going to give us some more food. We'll go ahead and cook that up as well. And as soon as that food is ready, then I think we're going to, well, we'll go ahead and cook up this salmon as well. So we got a nice supply of food on us. Look at that, I didn't even check. So one of those tools, the gold tools, is looting 3. Now it's gold, so it's not going to last all that long, but looting can come in handy. All right, so we got the food that we have it cooked up. So we're just going to go ahead and break our stuff and take it with us, and we're just going to continue on our Gonzo, if you will. So now we're just going to run until we find one of 2 things. Now, we've already started the run and we've gotten ourselves a bed, so we really could stop and settle down at any time. So the strategy here is to either just run until, well, look at that, we got another shipwreck right there. So definitely, if I were setting up this world, I would make a boat right now and I would go out to that shipwreck and find whatever is in there. And that one looks like a nice, easy one to get to as well, because it doesn't look like it's very deep. So with no respiration armor on, it'd still be easy to go down there and get that without much risk of drowning. All right, so we're just going to run around and see how long it takes us to either find a really cool place to settle down or to find ourselves a village. Here we have an area where we're starting to be able to see out a little bit. That looks like a prairie over there, so let's go check that out. All right, this is pretty nice looking. To get a good look around, when we were digging for our stone, we did pick up some dirt. So I'm just going to go ahead and tower up here a little bit. Plenty more sheep right there in case we were in need for some wool to make a bed. Also some more would be good for food. Okay, so I'm not seeing a village within sight here. So let's see, we did pick up a shovel as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and collect this back up. And I kind of like the way it looked over in that direction, so I'm going to continue to run this way. Ooh, horses. All right, that's good to remember. Pumpkins, all a whole bunch of good stuff here along our way to pick up. I'm going to go back over to the high ground here as the sun is starting to set. All right, we're going to run to the next hill. There's an interesting cave, so we could easily switch gears to go caving right now as our strategy. But we started this one out as a Gonzo looking for a village, and so we're going to go ahead and do that. So we'll plop the bed down, have a sleep. Yeah, so we're near that cave that we just looked at on our way up the hill, so I'm not surprised that we're hearing lots of zombies. Oh, another pretty horse. All right, looks like we got ourselves sunflower, what do they call it? Sunflower meadow or something like that. That's pretty cool. I would definitely be collecting up some sunflowers. Wow, there's a whole bunch of horses right there. This is a great place to come, you know. If you're looking for a speedy horse, once you get a saddle, man, chances are good that one of these horses would be kind of quick. Now, it is kind of an indicator, my understanding is, if you look at these horses as they're walking around, the speed of their walk is an indicator on how fast they're going to be. So if you find a horse that's walking, like this guy, look at him, he's moving pretty good. There's a good chance that that he's pretty quick. Now, if I was going to be playing in this world, what I would probably do, even though I don't have a saddle, I could still tame him. Right, and if I tame this guy, well, we won't take the time right now, but if I were to tame him, then when I came back, he would still be here. And then, so that way, I would be, the strategy would be not to let a horse that we think might be a fast one, don't let him despawn. Okay, at any rate, we'll go back up to some higher ground here so we can have ourselves a look around, and we're just looking for a village. All right, now in this case, since we are next to the shoreline, we could very easily, you know, make a boat and do like we did on the last method and sail up this coast. But I kind of want to, you know, find one just running around as well, because you don't always end up right there by a coast, but it sure is convenient when you do, whether it's the ocean or if it's a river. Because you might have noticed when we were sailing, we went all night and we didn't burn up any hunger. Some donkeys here, that could be pretty neat as well. All right, we've covered quite a bit of ground so far without finding a village. So with every step, I kind of feel like chances are improving that we're going to see one. So in this case, since we have some good looking terrain in multiple directions, what you might want to do is, if you're playing, like I said, if you're playing in hardcore world, this is irrelevant. But if you're playing in a survival world where spawn is going to be relevant to you, at some point you might want to circle if you still like the terrain in that direction, and that way you're not going, you know, because if you find a cool spot, that's great. But if you're in survival and you die and you end up back at spawn, then you're gonna have to find your way. You know, you might be thousands of blocks away from where you decided to build. So, you know, one strategy to keep in mind would be just to, like I said, circle around. If the terrain still looks good in that other direction, that way you won't be too far from spawn. This is kind of fun here, a big lava pit. Those can be very handy. And we've stumbled across the village. All right, let's get ourselves into the village, and then we'll take a look at the coordinates and see how far away from spawn we wandered. So now, once we're here, you know, we got plenty of hay bales. If I didn't make a bed yet, we got plenty of beds. We got crops growing. We got everything we need. So, yeah, we're about, you know, 1,000 blocks in both coordinates from spawn, so that's not terrible. So this was a nice, this worked out good, even though at times it could seem like it's hopeless, but you will find a village, and you will, you know, if you can, especially if you get a bed, you're pretty safe to just to do this method, because you can just run. You will eventually find a village, and when it gets dark, you just sleep the night away real quick and then just continue on your trip. So that is the Gonzo method, if you will. So the two we have left that are fairly common is the caving and the hidey hole method. So let's pop out of this. Okay. Hard and create world. Okay, so we're just going to ignore some of the stuff. It's still handy if there are sheep nearby to go ahead and get them, because it definitely gives you options, which is always nice to have. All right, Mesa. Well, actually, this is a great biome to be in for either one of the methods, whether it's the hidey hole method or the caving method. First thing I would do is I would kind of get up a little bit high, because a lot of times in mesas, there are places where oak trees, there's little patches. I forget what they're called. Oh, look at that. I see a desert temple over there. So very likely a village as well. But we're going to ignore that for now. I see trees over there. So we're going to need some wood no matter what to get things going. Now, if we see any animals, any sheep along the way, I think it'll take a lot of hits, but we should still be able to punch them to death, if you will. All right, here we go. So we're coming up on some oak trees. Now, in this scenario, if I know I'm going to be going underground, I'm gonna get more logs than I normally would worry about getting, because you're going to be underground. You're going to need to have some torches. And hopefully we can find some food up here before we go under, because if you get some food first, that's great, because then you'll have the energy to do stuff down there. If you don't get enough food and you go down into caves, it kind of works out where, you can do some stuff, but then at some point you are just idling until it gets light out, so you can go find some food. All right, so I'll take the free sticks. Thank you very much. Okay, so same strategy here, but in this case, I'm going to go ahead and make a wooden axe as well. Okay, so I need some more sticks, because like I said, I'm going to want to chop down some extra trees. Now, when we go into the caves, there's going to be plenty of stone, so I'm not worried about that so much. So right now, with this strategy, I'm just worried about collecting some extra wood, so we have some options to craft some things. Of course, the balance is here that we want some time before night, before we have to dive down into the caves. We want to have some time to at least find some food. Now, the Badlands can be a rough biome for that. Okay, so we got almost 20 logs, and that's going to give us some options to make some coal, and therefore some charcoal, and then from that, some torches. All right, so now what we want to do is let's get up high so we can have another look around. Let's see what we can find. The nice thing about the mesa is because you've got a lot of places where you can enter the caves and really get going. But like I said, we got to find ourselves some food, and mesas are not super food friendly. Having said that, the obvious play right here is going to be to go catch some fish. So, because we got some water right down there, so let's get down to the water level. And we're going to want to get ourselves some fish. Now, the good news is we don't have to worry too much about it being night, because, like I said, we're just going to duck down into some caves. So we can spend some time here getting some fish. All right, and the good thing about the fish is they'll just keep spawning. So you can go catch as many of these guys as you can, and then swim over a few feet away, get some other guys, and then the ones over here will spawn back again. Remember to get some air, though. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we got to get ourselves a some stone at least. So we're gonna hop down a little bit, and we should hit cobblestone before too long. Okay, so I'm a little surprised here. It's taking us down quite a bit before we found some stone. Let's try right over there. We've got some sand. Okay, so what's interesting here is we're starting to run out of daytime. So I think what I would do in this scenario is I would switch gears from this being my caving episode to this being my what I would refer to as hidey hole. So in this case, I'm digging down into sand, but since it takes me so long to get down here because of the biome I'm in, I'm just now getting out of the sand. So at some point here, we're going to start, there we go. So now we're going to start getting into some cobblestone. So we need to collect up 8 real quick. Let me put some cobblestone in my bar so I can tell when I've got 8, because it's pretty dark, and that's your challenge right now. Okay. So we've got more than 8, so we're going to go ahead and place down our crafting table, and we're going to make ourselves a furnace. Okay, we'll place that. And we need to make some charcoal. So now we're getting some light from the oven itself. Now I'm going to take some of these, and I'm going to make it one of these so it'll be obvious. And I'm just going to block this off. So that way, nothing can come down here overnight and get to me. All right, so we got some charcoal, and we'll make some more sticks here. Now we can make ourselves some torches. All right. And we can stay up lit there. So now also, we'll put our fish in there. We'll start making some food. All right, got some more sticks, and then we can make ourselves, we're a little short on cobble to make a pickaxe, so we'll just dig a little more cobble here. And now we got a stone pickaxe. Okay, so now at this point, all I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start mining. Now, the good thing about this is we're nice and safe here. And we're gonna start collecting some blocks, and at some point we're gonna run into some coal, which would be great for fuel and for torches. And we'll get a little bit stocked up. We'll probably do a full set of tools in this case, because at some point we're gonna have to go out. We still need to get a bed and to figure out where we're gonna settle down at. But at any rate, this is the hidey hole strategy. So we've got what we need here to sustain ourselves. We would just occasionally check here and look for daytime. We're pretty much far enough away. I don't think any of the mobs are going to track to us, but if you're worried about it, just to be safe, just block yourself off and take a peek every once in a while. So we've got some food here so we can top off our hunger. Right outside the opening, we've got that river so we can get some more fish. So I would just do this. You might have to do it 1 or 2 nights, but by the time you come out, you'll be able to have a full set of tools. You're very certainly going to run into some coal at some point here, especially if you don't go too deep and you start digging around. And then you'll be in a good position to hop on out and find yourself some sheep to get a bed, and then you can move on to the next stage of the game. So that's the hidey hole method, if you will. So let's hop out of this one. Okay, so what's left is the caving start. So let's go ahead and hop into a world and see what we get here. All right, well, there's a tree right nearby here. Okay, so the start here, as you may have noticed, is the same in this way here. We're always starting with, we've got to get some wood because we can't do anything till we get some wood. Here's another easy tree over here. Also, again, take a peek at your spawn. We're spawning around 0, 0. What do we got here? Just a little hole. Okay, so we want to get our way over to this tree here. We got to get some more wood. All right, so the idea here is we want to go ahead and get started with our normal. We want to go ahead and get to the Stone Age as soon as possible. And we're hoping, now if we're going to go caving, we're going to need some extra wood to make sticks, some logs to make some charcoal and light up the place, and some food as well to sustain us while we're underground. Now, if we happen to get some sheep along the way so that we can make a bed, then, well, I already made a, that was silly. Okay, so if we can find some sheep along the way, that would be great. And again, since I don't know if there are sheep or not, we'll go ahead and prepare just in case. But same deal here. I'm going to go ahead and get some stone right away so we can get ourselves into the Stone Age. There you go. That's the nice thing about your traditional biomes like the prairies, even the taigas. The cobblestone is pretty close by, not that far under the surface. And again, if you're doing this right near spawn and you're in a survival world, this oh, look at that. So we're getting real lucky here. Now I can't collect that iron until I get a stone axe, but that's a really lucky find because early on, I think probably if I just get a few pieces of iron, I would do one of two things. If I only got 2 pieces of iron, I'd probably make a shear, because that way I can get wool without killing the sheep, and that's better because then I can start raising the sheep. Otherwise, if I get 3, I think I would make a bucket, especially if my plan, like it is in this case, is to go into the caves, because if you've got a bucket, boy, that sure gives you a lot more options. Looks like I'm not going to get lucky enough. Looks like I just got 2 pieces of iron here. That's okay. Any iron at all is pretty lucky. Okay, so again, I would make myself an oven. I'm going to make a stone axe here because it's going to facilitate chopping down some trees much easier, and also getting ourselves some food if we can find some sheep or what have you. So I see some horses, but horses, you know, I don't like to kill horses. Horses do drop leather, but they don't drop any food, so leather is not a high priority right now. So I see some pumpkins over there. I would be interested in collecting those up. So now it's just a matter of, let's pick a direction, and both directions have their pluses, so I'm just going to go ahead and, for no other good reason than random, I'm just going to run this way. What do we got here? Oh, there you go. There's a cave entrance. Is that, I can't tell from here if that's iron or copper. If that were iron, I would definitely go get it. I think that is iron. So that'll allow me to make a bucket. And it's still pretty much in the daylight, so it's fairly safe. Yeah, there you go. 3rd piece of iron. Nice. And it's a cave entrance, so that's good. So this would be a great place to start our caving adventure. The one thing we need for sure is some food, because we're not going to last long without food. We do in fact have some food right here. Oh, there's a village. Okay, so this is perfect. So in this case, I would run over to this village. I'm going to collect myself up a bed and some food, and then we're ready to go caving. That's perfect. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and plop down my furnace. Drop that in there. Let that be smelting up some iron. See what else we can find. I'm going to go ahead and collect a bed. Boom, we are golden now. Alright, so these hay bales are going to be a real easy source of food for us. We'll convert these into hay and then convert those into bread, and we will be in really good shape. This village has a big hole in the middle of it. We could start our caving adventure from right here, too. Alright, so this village would be a pretty good place to set up shop if you were looking to do so anywhere near a village, because you've got some pretty good caves over there. You've got this village here. You've got some fun places where you could consider doing a starter base. It's always fun to have a base overlooking a village. That's a good way to go. Okay, so here we go. We got our first 3 iron. We'll get ourselves a bucket. Alright, let's make ourselves some food. We'll convert these hay bales into hay. And let's see. Bread, where are you? Bread. Alright, a full stack of bread. Look at that. You really can't go wrong. Okay, so now, if you wanted to be safe, you could sleep the night away. But I think that cave was right over here somewhere, so we don't really have to worry about that so much. We'll just run right over and get down into our caving adventure. Alright, before I get down there though, this bucket isn't going to do us any darn good if we don't put some water in it. So let's get some water in our bucket. Let's get, well, let's see, we don't need to cook any food because we've got this bread right here. We can top off our hunger. I probably do Let's see if we can find some easy coal real quick. If we can find some easy coal, I don't even have to turn any of our logs into charcoal. Oh, hello, Mr. Creepers. And a skeleton. Okay. Alright, so I did not bring any logs with us, but we've got a tree right here. We're going to lose the sun, but that's okay, because we got a bed on us now. There's the Sweet Dreams advancement. Alright, let's see. How many torches can we make? 8. We probably want more than 8 torches. Alright, 20 torches. So you got a couple choices here. If you wanted to be safe, you could go chop down a couple more trees and make some more charcoal, therefore making yourself some more torches. But you are likely to find some coal down in these caves. So now you've got food. You've got nearly a full stack of food. We've got 20 torches and some stone tools. We're ready to get down into our adventure and start facing these beasts. Now, the other thing that would be smart, if we could find one more piece of iron here, is to make ourselves a shield, because that sure would make dealing with those guys a heck of a lot easier. The other thing you could do is take a chance, run in here, get some light on the subject. Now, if you run away far enough, these guys should despawn. And I don't remember what I have my simulation distance set to, so I don't know if I'm going to run far enough. But if I run up far away enough, then those guys will despawn. And since I put a torch in there, there'll be some light, so new guys won't spawn right away. I may not have run far enough away, but that does work. I use that strategy from time to time. And let's see what happened. Let's see if I went far enough. No, I see the skeleton is still there. So I'd probably just change directions and head on over here, start lighting this place up. There's some coal right there, so that's going to be able to easily replace the resources I use to make these torches. And there's a creeper. We'll go ahead and let him be for the moment. But there you have it. So this is a good way, a good strategy here, the caving method. So we would just get right into caving and not get blown up by that creeper that is tracking to us right now. But we're set up pretty good in this situation as well. So at any rate, I think that's we covered the five methods, 5 pretty good methods here. None of them were too hard, and they were all just random seeds. And so if you're familiar with a few different methods to get a good start, you know, just to go through them again, the most common methods, your traditional method where, you know, you get your sets of tools, get to the Stone Age, get some resources to make a, you know, to get some sheep to make a bed, and boom, once you made a bed, you're in pretty good shape because you can just sleep most of the danger away. There was the Gonzo method where you get some basic tools and you get a little bit of food, and then you just run. You look for a village, because once you find a village, you're good. That's very similar to the boat along the coast method. The only difference is you don't have to worry about getting as much food, because when you're rowing that boat, you're not really burning any energy, so you don't need a lot of food. So you can just, once you've made the boat, you can just hop in that boat, you know, sail around up the coast until you find a village. And then, of course, you've got your caving and your hidey hole methods, which are both very similar. And all of those will provide you with a good, relatively easy, safe start in the event that you don't spawn right into a village right at the start of the game. So anyway, I hope you found some useful tips on this. I hope you enjoyed the video. And either way, thanks for visiting. I just finished up a hardcore series, 11 episodes. Well, I think it's 9, but there's half episodes in there that are actually pretty long. So it's about an 11 episode. If you wanted to check that out, that would be great. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.